Okay, there we go. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to this module. It's called Essentialism and Effortlessness. Before we just dive right into it and talk about theory and get you guys overwhelmed with more information again, I really want to just tell and share a little bit about why this module is extremely important for all of us, especially if we want to have longevity in what we do, right? I don't know how many of you start something, you love something, you get on with it, and then you realize there's so much more to do, so much you need to learn, and then you see the gap, and the more you do, the better you get, and you achieve those things. But no matter how many times you achieve it, there seems to be a bigger gap, and then it seems like it goes on and on and on forever. And then you go like, what's the point of doing all of this? And then you started hating what you do, and then you go burn out, and then you complain, maybe I should quit everything again and find a new passion, and then it starts everything again. Sound familiar? Right. So let me just start by talking about the concept between finite and infinite games. Have you guys heard of this term? People in the room? Finite and infinite games. And it's the two type of game that we actually play the game of life. Hi Amanda, good to see you. Right? And finite games means there's a set of rules. It's a closed container. There's a beginning and there's an end. There's a winner and there's a loser, and then that's it, right? And this can look like in business, right? In a business goal, how much is your KPI, and so on and so forth. This can look like in a football game in a 90 minutes, right? There's two halves, and then whoever scored most goals, there's a winner, there's a loser, and there's collected points, right? Now, one thing that I realize in society is that they keep presenting the finite game. They keep presenting the finite game. They don't talk to you about the infinite game. And finite games tend to be, all the tangible things, what the number is, how much money do you make, and even, things that you can't even measure, like, this person's skill in passing is 80 out of 100, and his shooting score is 100, and so on and so forth. There's all these skills that people are measuring with, and it gives some tangibility to play the finite game. But when taken outside the context of the finite game concept, it just doesn't even matter, right? Then you go into the infinite game, which is the game of life. Really is like, it just goes on and on and on. And the infinite game could be like your partnership with a partner, a lover, right? The moment you go into a finite game of argument, I win, you lose, I'm right, you're wrong, your infinite game is lost. Because the infinite game requires everybody to win so that people continue to play the game, right? So you notice that in a couple, in a marriage, it's not really about who's right and who's wrong. It's about, okay, how long can we be together for the rest of our life, not killing each other. But at the same time, it's not just about killing each other. It's also like celebrating and loving each other for the rest of our lives. That's the infinite game. So in business and in life, right, we have infinite and finite games. And it's also true that the infinite game is comprises of many finite games that we play every day, right? Each little gestures that you give your partner, for example, it could be a point that you add to the finite game, right? Or each care, each concern, each moment you put down your phone and be present to your partner, right? Could be the finite game that you want to count, and so on and so forth. So meaning, and I want to start with this conversation is really because in the end of the day, it doesn't matter what game you play as long as it is your game. The society has society's game, different businesses have different businesses game, but don't get lost in it. Now, if you want to play the game of society, you need to understand the rules, right? We all know. We play any board games, you need to understand the rules. Same thing with your life. You need to understand the rules. Now, the problem is when we grow up, we learn all of these rules. I have to be a nice person. I have to, work hard to succeed. Yes, right? I have to accumulate some credentials before I can actually start something. There's all these rules that is being imposed onto us. Now, hear me on this. The society has a version of a finite game. There's a series of steps, there's a narrative even. of like, hey, when you grow up, you better be ambitious, you better be a civil citizen, you better be law abiding, you have all these kind of, expectations that the society want you to be, right? And if your personal value fits in the societal value, great. I'm trying. I'm winning in life because I followed everything that the society's rule, the rules of society, and I'm at the top of my game. I climb the corporate ladder, I'm at the top, or I climb my business ladder, I'm at the top. But we all know as we continue to play that game, it starts to extend to an infinity kind of experience, and soon we realize, who am I? What am I doing? Stops giving you that sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. So, meaning what? Every infinite game that you thought it was the game has a bigger game. There's always a bigger game. The bi- and then the biggest game of all is the game of the universe. This is why, in the end of the day, most people like, I don't know what to do anymore. Let's go find spirituality. Let's go talk to Edita, and I'm gonna tell you all about your astrology, right? And this is your rules. And this is if you live by your rules of the chart, this is where you find fulfillment. And you start creating your own infinite game. What I'm trying to say is this: if you really want to be fulfilled, you got to make up your own rules in life. And you guys have done that with me already. That's your personal philosophy. You guys get what I mean? Right? Your personal philosophy is your own set of rules, right? That is not completely disconnected and selfish, but really has a bridge. There's a connection that your little game that you're playing is connected to the bigger game of society and the universe, right? Oh, hi Simon. Good to see you. That's that's like a Malay baju, right? Indonesian baju, right? Nice. Nice. Look good, by the way. So this is what I mean, right? So, what is essentialism? Essentialism is that you live by your own rules. And when you live by your own rules, you're providing your highest point of contribution to society. That means you are giving something of value, being in service. And as a result of that, you gain something back, but you live by your own rules. You define your own success. And to make that, whatever that is, the most important thing, important, the most important thing, non negotiable. When I say important, I'm talking about this. It must be the one, right? It cannot be anything else but that. And that is not like, your up, it's not your absolute dream, or your absolute, ambitions and so on and so forth, because those are activities to get to the one. Essentialism in life is really about being who you are. It's not about your fancy dreams. It's about being who you are in the end of the day. But what do you stand for? What kind of dreams and outside external activity, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind when you die? And this is the kind of conversation we need to have, because unless you have a powerful yes, you're not going to say no to all the different noises and distractions that is around you. You should do this. Unsolicited advices are everywhere, right? You, even if you don't talk to anybody, you open up your phone, that freaking social media is telling you what you should be doing in your life. And then you're like, yeah, yeah, inspiring. Maybe I should do it. Day in, day out, we are not connected with our inner voice. We are being gaslighted. And then you scroll your phone. Inspirational quote. Oh, maybe this is what I need. No, that's not what you need. You need to create your own quote. Define your life by yourself, right? And one thing that I've spoke to you guys as well, that to be an authority of your own life, you got to be an author of your own life. You got to write your own new stories, not the stories that is dictated by society, right? So this is my intro, right? This is my intro. Today we're gonna discover what is your infinite game, and how to live that game for yourself. Because if a game is so fun, why would you want it to end? Why would you want it to end? Right? You want to keep it going for as long as possible, so there's longevity around it, there's enjoyment and fulfillment around it, and whatever success that you actually make in the finite context, right? Success in the finite context, that means you hit your goals, is worth it. A few sessions ago in our risk transformation session, I did define that success has three types of experience. Number one is short-lived, right? You get it there and you celebrate, and then the next day it's empty, right? Number two, it doesn't feel good. Usually, success, you require a lot of amount of work, pain, fear, and stress to go through it to actually get the success. Number three is that once you get it, the next thing is emptiness, a moment of void. So we want to stop ourselves from playing that game because when we start chasing that, it's a recipe for burnout. But when you can live in the present to play the infinite game every single day and make that the essential thing to live for, a lifestyle, you'll be so fulfilled whether you achieve your outcome or not. Because what happens in your mindset, it's not a matter of if I can make it or not. It's more like when will I make it? Because eventually I'm gonna figure it out. Even if I'm not capable, I'm gonna get it. And and this is where the fun starts to begin, and this is where we will put ourselves in appropriate challenges, appropriate stress. And when we intentionally go into pain, fear, and stress, it becomes growth. When pain, fear, and stress happens without our intention, it feels terrible. It feels like something happens to us. Everybody tell you, hey, ice bath is good, ice bath is good, right? For those who's like, I love the ice. Whoa, they really enjoy that stress. They love it. Great result. For those people who are like, oh my God, cold is never my thing, and I have so much fear around it, and you push that person in there, right away, trauma has happened. Right? So it's counterintuitive. The same thing with business, the same thing with any other things. When you force yourself to do something to get a certain outcome, to make sure that it's the right strategy, the right way to do things, but you force yourself to do it, it's counterproductive. This is why I've seen many people in university, when I was in university, they were the get it right students. Well, yeah, went all the way, into masters, PhD, Ivy League schools, top 10 schools in the world. You know what happens after, they finish their PhD? Deep frustration, existential crisis. I don't know what I was doing because I thought this was the right way to live life when they had not considered what it really makes them feel excited and happy and so on and so forth. So essentialism, I mean, you can go ahead and read the book. I didn't design this term, but the every way that I have conveyed just now is my personal definition and take around it. All right. So there are six things that I want to go through. Like, let's go through the mindset today. And while I go through the mindset, I'll define certain things. And then we're gonna go through a certain exercise later to help you tangibly figure it out. Like, what am I truly saying? Yes, that's essential. All right. So first things first, let me draw something for you guys. Right. I like to study the nature of words because they usually tend to give a lot of meaning. When you hear the word essential, right? All of you guys in the chat, what do you guys think about while I bring out the whiteboard? Most important. Okay, great. Yeah, good. Fundamental, important, most important. Okay, important. Wait, why is there something here? All right, let me delete that. Something soft and beautiful. Ah, I like that. Creative, feminine description of essentialism. Yes. Right. Okay. When it comes to a shape, when you guys think about essentialism, do you guys think it's a triangle, square, circle? What is it? Square, circle, root. Okay. Everybody has different you know, different opinions and reflection of this. There's no right, good a pyramid. Nice. Right, wrong, good answers. By the way, it's just a reflection of your own perception of and what you really believe and how you see the world. Square. Huh. All the women saying circle, the guys saying square. You guys, very funny. But anyway, I'm gonna I'm gonna define Simon Circle. I'm gonna define essentialism as a circle thing, so it's not a right, wrong, good or bad, all right? Anyway, this is our sphere of understanding. For me, the definition of what is essential, it means centerpiece, central. There's something central about it, right? It's your core, right? That's what I think about when I think about what's essential and something that you cannot live without, something that is non-negotiable. Example, you can't live without your breath. Essential. You can't argue that. You can't live without the sun. Everything dies. You can't live without water. You can't live without food. All those are essential, right? But can you live without purpose, without companionship? Yeah, you survive, right? You'll survive. So essential brings some quality that is non-negotiable. But if companionship, if having people around you to you is really like like breath, right? Like air, you really need it, then it becomes an essential thing, right? So it's really important to highlight that this is what is, central to a lot of the conversations that you need to have with yourself. Now, let me see if I can draw a bigger circle and make this transparent. There you go. Uh-oh. Outline. There we go. What is essential usually comes from within. Essential needs for your body, essential needs for your mental health, essential needs for your emotional health, for your relationships. It's defined. It's completely subjective. It's from within. Something that you know that you need, but to somebody else, it might not be what they need, right? What is important is something that is agreed upon in a societal perspective, in the family, in your relationships. It's an agreed thing that, hey, this is really important right now. We need to really figure out how to actually solve this thing. And all these kind of important things, they kind of like fill up in our life as if they're essential, right? So what do we end up doing? We end up fulfilling all these expectations on the outside, all this important, all this noise. And it's even worse now, right now, with our modern tech, right? And with the whole world in our hands, in this handheld, our human brain today is ingesting a lot of information that we perceive as important because the world has decided it's important. How can you not think it's important? So what tends to happen? You know, can't even see the whole world anymore. You start to drown in the noise. Everything is important, even more. And then you try to do it right, and it starts to suffocate your soul. Some people can live until the end of their life not figuring this out. Some people probably when they're a little older. Some people when they hit a crisis, like a near-death experience, an accident, a breakup, right? A divorce, bankruptcy, so on, rejection, difficult experiences. To wake up to really what's essential, right? So, in this intention of this module, this 1 month, I really want to help you expand this circle. Not to say that all those important things on the outside needs to go away. You don't have to change anything of that. But let's expand a little bit of this middle circle in here. And then let's have this circle line, not so clearly defined. Maybe there's some level of like, that is somehow semi-permeable. Semi-permeable. But for that to happen, this thing cannot change. So, when something is an essence, it sounds really precious, right? Essence, wow, the essence of the mango or of a fruit tree or whatever. It's what you need to nurture for a long time to get it. This is what you need to be taking take you need to take care of, protect. When we say yes to something, make sure whatever all those important things connects to your essentials. Connects. Otherwise, don't take it. It costs you more than actually, that you actually gain. Maybe this one is connected to this. Maybe it's this one connected to this. Maybe it's this one. It's connected to this. And then you go like, hey, you know what? It's enough. Then what you're gonna do is to remove all the other noise. So when you free up a lot of all the other things, right? What happens is that you have more energy, you have more space to be creative, to be you, to really enjoy life, to contemplate on, to slow down your decision making, and so on and so forth. And what happens to your energy as a result of that? What happens to your fulfillment and what happens to your joy as a result of that? Let me just draw you another picture. Okay, let me just remove all the other X's. Right? As a result of that, let me draw you something else. Let's just say this is your energy, right? Instead of being this all over the place, right? Which is by all the important things in life, what can happen instead is this all the way through. An essential life is a life of focus on the things that you love the most and make it all about that. Make sense? Everybody in the room? Right? So you know what to choose. Because everybody has opinion, guys. They'll tell you what's better, what's right, what's good, and there's always comparison mindset. But what's yours? We all need to take a stance for who we are. And this is not gonna get any better, by the way. Right? With social media, with AI and all those kind of things, that the AI thinks, the algorithm thinks that they know better than you. This is what you need. Hey, this is suggestible. Right? Do this. No, right? You need to reclaim your free will. You cannot lose your humanity right now to, all this external noise. It's only gonna get louder. And this is why this thing gets even more, this work that we are doing here gets even more relevant, right? Now, I had a conversation with, some of you about, what's the right path to get to success, right? And I've said it many times, there's no right path because the moment you start walking this, the path that's already cleared out, the safe path, it's not your path anymore. Part of the path of discovering your humanity is to go to the unknown. Is to, if you see that it's obstacle in front of you, you take out your knife and you chop out all the grass and you open a new path. You become a trailblazer. You set your own new standards. If you realize you don't like society's game and rules, you start creating your own. And you know what people call those people? People who create new rules. Oh, they're the thought leader. When they succeed, they'll call you the thought leader. When you have not make it a name out there, they call you a failure. They'll say you a bad names. They want to push you aside in the corner. You crazy idiot. Why are you doing this? Right? So I spent about 25 minutes talking all about that, just to say that there's no rules in life. You start to create your own. All right. All right. So mindset number one. Mindset number one of an essential. And what I'm really comparing right now is essentialism versus what's important. Okay. Those people who are not living an essential life will find everything is important. Don't you guys think these days everything is important? Oh, my schedule is very full, and then they get nothing done, and then they think they're very busy and they're productive, but everything is important, but nothing's really done. They still are miserable because they're not living true to themselves. So I'm comparing this mindset between essential versus important, right? So the first essential mindset is that when you are in essentialism, being an essential person, living the essential life, you will notice that you use vocabulary of like I choose to or I love to. It's a choice, right? Let's just say health is a big theme in your life, spirituality and health, and then your business and your partner and all these people are requiring a lot of your time and so on. Yeah, are they important? Yes, they are important. Are they essential? No. So when it comes to the point where you need to choose between your health and your partner and business, if you're a health person, no, you choose your health first, right? For the important people mindset, their mindset is I have to. You'll notice when you go around people talking to people, oh no, I have to do this. No, I have to do this. I don't have time. I can't make time for my health. I have to do this. They tend to put what's essential to them last. And they're like little circle that I showed you just now being squashed in by all the important things outside. Make sense? Okay. Right. So how do we get to I choose to and I love to? What you need to know about what's essential to you has to be extremely specific. I choose this health in the way that is done in this way, and this is how I do it. And I show up to this religiously and make it my routine, non-negotiable. Nobody can take it away from me. It's my time. Very specific. Now let's talk about all the important people. I have all these important things I need to do. And then you tell them, what do you really need to do? They can't tell you exactly what they're doing. They don't know, but they just feel important. There's some vagueness to it. So to live an essential lifestyle and to be in a place of choose to love to, make sure it's specific, not vague. Got it? Right? Right. The third thing about being choose to love to and living an essential lifestyle is that it has to be your highest point of contribution. And let me show you again what is the highest point of contribution. Just a refresher. I've taught this before, right? And maybe not specifically outlined. Um, okay. If you remember this, passion, right? Purpose, right? The intersection between the both of them in the middle, you get what? Something I called your potential, right? Your potential is what? The seed of who you are, your soul, the seed of your soul, and the seed of your soul is what's essential to who you are because your soul is your essence, by the way, right? This is your point of contribute, highest point of contribution. Y'all get what I mean? Now you guys can play the game here. I'm just gonna follow my passion. I'm just gonna follow my, purpose and so on and so forth. Being good at meeting the expectations of society, or I'm so good at just sharing my things. I don't even care if people in the society care or not. You either get, frustrated that you don't feel fulfilled because you're always serving, or you are so caught up in your own, agenda that you can't sell to the world and contribute something meaningful. So both sides creates frustration, right? What I was gonna type here. Um, I really forgot. But anyhow, it's the intersection between passion and purpose that really gives you this highest point of contribution. I remember what I was gonna type already. Here, you can be excellent. Right, everybody tell you, wow, you're so inspiring, you're so good, you're so amazing, and so on and so forth. Here as well, you can be excellent. Wow, you contribute something meaningful to society, a lot of money, you hit the status, give so much to charity and so on and so forth. But and internally, you still feel empty, right? Over here, highest point of contribution is your zone of genius, is your ikigai, is your reason for being alive, and to a point, it actually contributes something meaningful to the world. Say that again. Is your reason for being alive, and in doing that activity, it serves a certain purpose or certain meaning in the world. It contributes. This is why I say highest point of contribution. This should be your essentialism, right? At this point. Where is my text? Can I change the color? This is your essentialism right here in the middle. Okay, let me just give you guys a few examples. I'm going to use me as an example because it's just easy. Like in the passion side of things, for me, I'm a good dancer. I almost want to become a professional dancer, but all that to me was just passion, right? And from a different side of things, that on the purpose side of things, I'm a very good coach. I'm a very good astrologer. I'm a very good leader, right? In terms of creating those kind of things. But if I lean too much on this side and serving in purpose in this kind of way, yeah, I can get a lot of money, but I started to feel, frustrated and burned, right? And feel like those success don't mean anything anymore. So I'm playing by the zone of excellence if I choose either this or that. So what is my zone of genius? All right. My zone of genius is to really see what do I have in common in those two different polarities and find it within myself in the middle what it looks like to have that. Something that I still don't understand why I have not done this yet. Why have I not teach dance? Why have I not teach movement? I have not it has not passed my mind. And incorporate things like philosophy and all this kind of thing, like all the coaching stuff into the dancing stuff side of things. So I found the intersection instead from the health, right? From an emotional mastery perspective, for what it means to elevate peak performances in human. Because for dance, you require to do all of that side of things. Through dance, I understand what it means to get to flow states, which makes me feel like, I can teach all of this in this context. Now I can share it with people. I'm living my ikigai, right? Um, I find more sense of peace, ever since I started my YouTube compared to all of the other previous things that I was teaching. Not that I don't like them. It's more like I found a deeper sense of peace. So how do you know that you're living an essential life? It's peace. It's not happiness. It's not all those excitement. It's peace. So play your game and you'll find peace that way. So the last thing to from the I love to choose to mindset is that it's usually coming more from a place of infinite game. I could do the YouTube thing forever and wouldn't get bored of it. Sorry, Adrian. And then on the other flip side, right? On the other flip side, the finite game is, your sales, your goals, and things like that. And this is the games where everything is important. Those people will play. Okay, make sense from the first mindset category. All right, let's move to the second one. As an essential person, the way they look into the world, every time an opportunity comes, they will know that everything is not important. It discerns opportunities and you'll do whatever it takes to create more space in life than actually creating clutter. Quick question to everybody. How often do you guys do shopping? Any of you in the room do do shopping or window shopping? Do you guys do that? Okay, I mean, we all have that experience of going to a shopping mall, right? Okay, that's my point. And then try to go into a grocery store when you're hungry. What are you gonna do? This snack looks good. It's important. I need this. This ice cream not bad. I'll take this. This fruit is good for me. It's healthy. I need more greens. I need more meat. And before you know it, your entire basket is full. This is coming from of a place of what? You're hungry, you're in scarcity mindset, and it's dictating your choices. So you see everything as important. You get what I mean? As an essentialist, you know you are full, you are worthy, you're loved, and you don't need to chase for anything more. So when you go into the grocery store as with a full stomach, let's just say, you're not gonna buy. You're not gonna buy so many things. You're gonna go like, okay, what's essential at home? I'm gonna buy some tissues, some soap, right? And my weekly groceries. That's it. You're not gonna go for the snacks. This is the same thing with all the personal growth industry. And the problem with social media, if you are feeling from a place of scarcity, let's just say you have a bad experience in life, you'll notice you'll swipe more, and everything that you swipe and you engage and you press like in, all right, you're actually buying already. And then they will send you more and more and more of the same content to tell you to buy. And eventually, with many touch points, you ended up buying. Guess what? Scarcity sells. So it's very important that let's just say if you're in a scarcity mentality, which is more the important side of things, these people will say yes right away. They make decisions, say yes and no too fast, too soon, and they overcommit. From an essentialist standpoint, they will delay their decision making. Being in a vacuum and saying no to things is better than saying yes to the wrong things. You all get what I mean? And this is why they say hire slow, fire fast. Is also from an essentialist mindset. Most businesses I know they're not firing because they're afraid that, oh, if I fire this person, I wouldn't find a new one. Well, who's going to run the business? And essentialist is like, nope, this is a cost. I'm letting you go first. I'll figure it out later. Guess what? They feel comfortable in the vacuum, in the unknown, in the uncertainty, and they go like, okay, at least I have some core things working. I'll figure it. I'll fill up the gaps soon. So, some of you have came to me this week like, hey, I feel bad saying no to to few opportunities coming my way. I know it's right thing to do, but it goes against my usual way of doing. What's really happening is that you're retraining your mind and your relationship with scarcity and abundance. Another thing that comes from an important side of things that everybody find that everything is important is that they have this sense of fear of missing out, right? And the fear of missing out happens is saying that only external things can make me happy. So if you want to be a good essentialist, everybody, spend some time alone. Learn how to be alone. And that aloneness will teach you, you know, what you need and what you don't need. Especially if you spend too much time, doing people work and spending too much time in a crowd, fulfilling expectations more than coming into yourself. Okay, so second mindset, everything is not important. Is an essentialist mindset. From the other perspective, right, is everything is important. Mindset number three. From an essentialist perspective, they'll find that one thing and go all in and go big on it. The question they will ask is when it comes to a point that they have to choose between two things, right? They will say this, they'll ask themselves this question. How can I do both without getting involved? How can I make both happen without getting involved? Let's say you have a family commitment and you have a business commitment. You know that one of your essential things is to be in the business side of things, but your family needs you. Okay, then your question is like, how can I do both without getting involved? I'm showing up on my business. What is it that my family need? Okay, I'll get somebody else to, delegate this and that. I'll empower, somebody to, rise up to the occasion because this is a great opportunity. Because essentialists have to understand one thing. There will always be something called trade-off. You cannot be, and the trade-off is you cannot be in two places at the same time. Kelly, can I use you as an example? Okay. Kelly has a show to perform on Sunday. I, on the other hand, got sick and I was bedridden, by the way. In a couple hours, I wasn't able to walk and I was frozen and I was feverish and I was like, shit, I really need help. Right. She needs to be in the performance. Or she can make a decision if I'm the most essential thing in her life, which is not, which is great, which is healthy. It's healthy that I'm not her most essential thing in her life. She will actually cancel her performance and stay home and take care of me. But there's no one formula to this whether it is or it is not. Let's say I am touch wood, right? I'm gonna die. Is she gonna actually go and perform? Or is she gonna come home and take care of me and spend time with me? So it's really understanding that the thing of what is essential to you doesn't have to be so solid. This is why I say what this is why I've changed the full circle, solid circle into dotted lines. It has to be, you know, flexible based on the inner wisdom of the situation. And if you know that, okay, if I choose this, I'm going to compensate something behind me, then how are you going to actually communicate effectively to that person or that family member? Let's just say that for, use that reason, use the example for a moment to patch things up, have difficult conversations, make up something for them, and finish what you need to do on the essential side of thing, and be fully present for the other thing that's important. There are creative ways to find solution. That's my point. This is the point of this mindset number 3, right? Is that essentialists are creative. They'll find new ways to go about things. The important type of people, important lifestyle is that I'm gonna promise everything. I'm gonna do it all I can. I'm gonna go all out. So you ended up in 5 different places. Sometimes you lose, you fail to commit to certain promises. Your life's a mess. You're overwhelmed. You feel bad because you miss certain things, and all this unnecessary stress starts to build up into your system, right? So it's not about how do I go all out and do it all, right? It's really on the other side of things. Another thing that I should mention is that essentialists know how to exit quick. Let's say they bought something, a $5,000 coaching, let's just put it that way. Not halfway, 2 weeks in the coaching, and they feel like, oh my God, this is not healthy and this is not good for me, but I paid a bunch of money here. The essentialists will go like, maybe I should leave now. And I would leave now. They won't go like, oh my God, I wasted this 5,000. Maybe I should just try and see what happens and continue my coaching. By the time your coaching end, it did not cost you 5K anymore. It cost you more than that. This is called the sunk cost fallacy. Watch out for that because you find it important. You will fall for it. Scarcity mindset. All right, mindset number 4. Essentialists are responsive, and what they do is they create more space to think. They embrace stillness. And this is why in your hedonic calendaring, I was like, guys, you gotta empty that day, empty that hour. That time is for you. All right. Whereas the important person is reactive. They're always too busy to think. They're always avoiding, avoiding themselves. Other things are always too important. From that perspective, do you think they have a clarity in actually making good decisions? Hell no. No way. Right? So you need to actually put in those empty slots to breathe. Yeah, it might sound lazy. Yeah, it might sound not productive. But let me just say, if you can only use 2 hours to finish all the tasks in the day, would you? Right? Then you gotta actually put yourself into that optimal state of being to work. There's a saying in yoga, right? They say be in yoga first, then act. Not act in and then yoga, right? Yoga doesn't just happen, but you need to actually cultivate the state of yoga, the state of unity, the state of presence, the state of stillness. Then act from that place. From a lifeline language, act from your higher self, not from your reactive emotions. Okay, mindset number 5. Just now I mentioned a little bit about the difference between signal and noise. All of us are like radio broadcast station, our brain and our hearts, right? I just saw a very interesting study that memory doesn't exist in the brain. The brain acts as a transmitter to connect to the memory. So where is the memory? The memory is in the field of the universe. That means it's in space. It's not stored in the brain. Sorry. But anyway, why do I bring out that? Is because what you tune in is what you're signaling yourself to connect, what information you're here to connect. If you do not know what channel you want to tune in, what essential channel you want to tune in, guess what? You know the old radio thing that you play on your car, right? I think we are all in the generation that we still know what that is. We try to find which is the radio station, right? We keep tuning and tuning and tuning. And when we tune into the wrong place, we tend to hear the white noise, right? Zzz, yeah, the buzzing sound. That's not nice. Those are noise, guys. So when I drew that picture just now, when all the important things starts to accumulate and you shrink, those are noise, guys. Noise. So essentialist mindset pays attention to the signal. When you write your personal philosophy and you make the your essential thing, when you go out there and look for opportunities, it has to match your personal philosophy. The signal of an external opportunity has to match your internal values, your personal philosophy, and where you're going, not a mismatch. Now, sometimes it's very hard to tell, right? It's very hard to tell because we are so used to think and make decisions from our head. Everything is logical. But there's three centers of knowing in our body. One is the gut. That's your instinct. One is the heart. That's your intuition. One is your mind. That's your intellect. Most people use the intellect and logic. Some people say just use the gut. I say use all three. Check in with all three. Let it be in alignment. The heart, the gut, and the brain has to be in alignment before you make any choice and decision. That's your signal. Whether it's when making a new friend, when you're hiring someone new, when you go on an audition, whether you pick someone, maybe someone check all the criteria, but your gut is like, there's something off about this person. Please say no. Please say no. And sometimes you meet people, this person doesn't look like much, but it feels good. There's something about there's a nice potential. Maybe there's a little work that they need to do. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna invest in this person. This includes your space, your clients, who you listen to on your social media. Please curate your content. Right? Go into your followers list, really disconnect and remove yourself from any kind of like creators, followers that you kind of feel like, you know what, I've outgrown this. I don't need to see this anymore. Please remove it. have a social media cleanup. That helps. So how do we know what's a signal and what's a noise? A signal is this. It's either a hell yes or a hell no, nothing in between. Not maybe, should, could, would. All right. A signal is also this path of greatest excitement. It's exciting. It lifts up your energy. It fulfills a certain purpose and it's meaningful. Excitement and meaning. Okay. Not like, yeah, it's right. Yeah, this makes sense. I got all the strategy out. Signal is also this listening deeper than the information that it presents itself. Deep listening. That's how you notice the signal. Most people practice active listening, right? You guys know that. Active listening, you listen to the information, you go into your critical thinking, and you try to figure out all the kind of stuff. That's all great. But the deep listening is like, what's the universe saying? What's my gut saying? What is the feeling and conversation that I need to have with my partner so that it's clear, right? Then only we go on. Sometimes it's better to be in a deadlock in conversation. That means, let's just say Kelly says this, I say that, we are in a conflict, right? Because she thinks that going towards this direction is a better idea, and I say go that direction is a better idea. Sometimes it's better to have that conflict and that tension than just go like, you know what, go your way, or Kelly say, no, go your way, right? It's better to have that tension until you find a win-win-win solution for the both of you. This can happen between all your stakeholders. Let's say if you guys run a group, right? 5 people, 10 people. Yes, you can't make everybody happy, right? But it's better to be in the deadlock, be in the tension until you can find a solution for everybody and go like, that feels peaceful. It might not be a best solution, or maybe people is not like saying like, um, you know, when they say you can't make everybody happy, it means you can't fulfill everybody's opinion. But I truly fundamentally believe if we stay in the tension long enough, all our needs are met. We all want to go to the same mountain. Yeah, maybe we will have different ways to go about it. And then let's brainstorm using all our best creative solution to find what's the best path that meets everybody's needs so that we can climb up to that mountain safely. But until we actually find the answers, we actually have to be in the tension. And you have to allow the tension to be there. Because every tension is an opportunity for creativity. Make sense? For the important people mindset, right? Because they're so easily agitated with the noise and those kind of things, they tend to bypass this process. And the essentialists know how to stay in it long enough. All right. Last but not least, last mindset. I say this very often. The essentialist mindset of the last one is create the environment to create you. Whereas the important mindset is constantly fixing, chasing, adding something to yourself, removing something yourself. What supplement do I need to take? What quick fix that I need to do? What's the next tip? What motivational talk do I need to listen? The essentialist creates the environment, and the environment creates the essentialist. So the essentialist is actually a curator of experiences. Let me just use this from a health context. Essentialism, no. Okay. I need sun. I need water. I need food. I need love. I need purpose. I need movement. I need breath. I need rest. That's my health. Done. By the way, you do all these 8 things, you make a super healthy person. The or more of the important people mindset. Oh, what's the next supplement? Oh, what's the next pill? What's the next biohack? When's my next IV drip? When's the next technique? When's the next sound healing? When's the next teacher? What's the next workshop? What's the next retreat? It's always going after the quick fixes. What happens when you do that? You eventually exhaust yourself. In time, energy, attention, and money. Essentially, find the fundamental things that will make big leaps, but it takes a longer time to cultivate. Simple but powerful. And it's really about asking what is actually the fundamental things that can shift things. So a lot of you are actually correct, when it comes to your definition of what essential is. Yes, essential things are important, but it's deeper than that. It's not what's being dictated from the outside. It's what's within and what's fundamental, right? And it's what's central and core to who we are, what we are, and what our nature is. Okay. Now I have a really beautiful exercise to really just go into um the essential thing without diving too much on, let's go through the entire personal philosophy thing, right? By now you guys should have written your own and you guys have some ideas, right? And what I want to do in this session is to go a little deeper than what you have written and to stimulate a few things so that you might want to go back and rewrite your personal philosophy or scratch certain things because that came from a place of ego, not essence. Came from ego, not your soul, right? I think essentialism also as well is something that will stand the test of time. There's longevity, but what's important is like in the moment. So a couple of things. Sorry, I forgot to mention these few things. Couple of things for create the environment to create you. The essentialist knows how to create flow states. That means they learn how to be in flow to match their rhythm, to their state of being to the task that is needed, rather than using sheer effort or sheer willpower. Some of us, like to just push. I mean, that was me, lah, right? That was me. Really just pushing and pushing and pushing and this is what society is thinking and we need to really shape a different way to go about things. The second thing I should mention here as well is hedonic calendaring. Essentially, the essential people live in the present, live in the deep now. They focus on one task at a time, and if they can do it, they do it right now. They don't wait. Right? There's also some level of speed of implementation. Whereas all the important people, they like to ruminate on the past, and the way they try to catch up is to multitask. Right? Don't do multitasking. Doesn't work. And it's also very important to know that for essentialism to work, you have to be in a relaxed state. When you're relaxed, your performance go up. When you're tense and you're stressed, your performance go down. Don't listen to what the society is saying that the more you hustle, the better your performance are. Hell no. No, not at all. That's not what athletes are doing. Essentialists also make their life work by focusing on small wins. Right? This is why I'm creating environment to create you. Create small wins every day. Build a habit around it rather than wanting to force a big win. You know, it's urgent right now. It has to be done. And understand one thing. The results that you have today is not created today. It's created 2 to 3 months or couple weeks ago. Your results tomorrow and 2, 3 months later is what you do today. So if you're doing something today and you're not getting the result yet, it's okay. But from the important mindset person, they are instant gratification. I do it now, I get it now. That's the difference. And if you put yourself in the second mindset, if everything that I've said just now, by the way, don't worry about your notes, right? I'll make notes for you guys. Okay? It's a lot of information. If you're living life on the second side of the mindset, you are a very stressed, tense person. You have no systems. You are just grinding out with your life force. If you want to have a longevity, you got to build system, and systems are built from essentialism. Okay, I want to hear some feedback before we go into some exercise. What some insights? What are some questions? You don't. I mean, if you guys want to type, but I would like to just go for you guys unmuting, and I just want to hear what came up for you guys so far.
I can
Yeah,
share. I
editor.
think that I think that you gave me an answer for what's my observation because I compared the generation, my generation and generation our children when I born in the time of communism and there was almost nothing and we have to achieve something, find and so forth. But for this new generation is more about the ability, capacity to choose to what's I really essential for me. So it's I had a answer and more clarification about this topic. What's really you have to do to learn to choose?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Especially when there's a generation that is, suffered from war or something like that, and then the first generation that's transitioning out of it. It usually come from a survival mindset, and from the survival mindset, it's usually from the second mindset I was talking about, and that's how they live their life for a while. And because of the new stability that is formed, that's at the later generations. Oh, I'm choosing first because they don't know what happened from the ancestors, and this is where the intergenerational conversation needs to happen. And it took me forever to appreciate what my grandparents have done. What they taught us was pretty traumatic, and we didn't know where it come from as grandchildren, right? But they had to do what they need to survive, and they're just sharing what they knew was good at that time, and we didn't know as a younger generation, right? So there's a conversation that needs to bridge the gap where the older generation needs to, like, okay, I get it, I've been conditioned by this, now I can shift out of that, right? And for the younger generations to know that, do you guys know that you guys can be an essentialist and be a chooser now because of the whatever your ancestors have done to create this opportunity for you? So please be grateful. Right? So this is where the dual conversation has to happen. And editor, I have a nice activity that you can do is write a letter 3 generations above you and write a letter 3 generations down below you, your future grandchildren, and you talk to your ancestors, and then you'll feel like there's some sense of harmony between you who are in the middle right now. Try that, and I think it's worth playing out that whole conversation. Anybody else? Rick.
Yes. I realize that not everything that moves is progress. Okay, sometimes doing less,
Everybody was progress.
yeah, sometimes doing less but better actually creates more momentum.
100%.
Yeah, than trying to do everything at once. So it's less is more. I think this is the essential thing that
Indeed.
yeah, I
Yeah.
I, I found out from here.
Yeah, it is that less is more. And it's not just less, it's really what's the core principle, fundamental things that is not usually fun to do. I'm gonna tell you in workouts, you just have to learn how to do squats, learn how to do push-ups, learn how to do pull-ups. That's it. There's no need for any other exercise to exist beyond that. Okay, one more thing, your core. That's it. Right? But you'll see that, oh no, you need this dumbbell that really can vibrate, and then it stimulates this muscle fiber right here, and then it shakes while you do your lift. All this kind of stuff starts to come through, right? So it's really going back to, okay, for essentialist mindset, and let's just say it's from your business perspective, what is those from the KPI perspective, what is those principles that they need to learn to fulfill the KPIs. And then you teach them those boring fundamental ways in creative ways, fun ways to build the progress. I think you know what I'm talking about. Yep. Kelly.
Just now when you say embrace stillness, do you mean like whenever, for essentialists, whenever we are in the unknown, we have to like sit still and stay in the unknown. Then eventually we will find a creative way to solve the problem.
So stillness doesn't always mean nothing is happening. Stillness is a state of mind of equanimity. Means you're not attached to the outcome, having high expectations, zero outcome. You can still be in motion, but be completely still, equanimity, and calm. And that creates space to think, be creative, rather than reacting from, your familiar past. But how do we even cultivate that skill? By having empty days, your reflective moments, your contemplative practices, your morning routine. Those are what's anchoring you down fundamentally when all the chaos of the unknown is happening. The reason why I start to be able to heal even faster now than before is because I know the basic principles on how to heal. Let me just share a story, right? When I was 17, I had my first lower back pain. It took me 8 months. Zero. I don't have zero understanding. I was like crazy. And then 21, every 4 years, it was just happening, right? And 21, it took me 6 months. 25, it took me about 4 or 5 months. And 29 took me about 5, 6 months again. Last 3 months, when it happened, it took me a couple of weeks, significantly shorter. Because I'm older and more experienced, I know what to do and how to heal. This weekend, it just happened. I'm already walking and running today, up and down. I didn't even realize it. And it only took me less than a week. And I'm like, it's the same incident, it's the same symptoms that has happened. So what I'm trying to say here is that the more you practice stillness and the more you understand the core principles and the core fundamentals of creating the success that you're trying to create, it takes shorter time eventually in the future to recreate it. This is why Warren Buffett, right? Buffet. he he can lose all his wealth all at any time. He has no worries about it. Why? Because he knows how to generate wealth anytime. That makes him an extremely wealthy person because he knows how to generate richness. Make sense, Kelly? Right? From based on that concept of stillness. And this goes to every other areas of your life. And that to me is a sense of mastery. You have another question?
Yeah, that one also similar with the one you mentioned about alone time.
Yeah, it's
Like
the same
when
thing.
you have
Learn how to be alone.
mm.
Yeah. Look, everybody, it's only when you're completely still, where you are able to hear your voice and you're able to trust the creative genius that's coming through you. The answers that you're looking for from teachers outside of you, from the phone, from the YouTube, from the workshop, from the retreats, everywhere, including me, it's all inside of you. And the only time that it comes out is you go ahead and find moments of stillness. This is why the last time when I was, being so privileged to be so close to the forest, I go there every single day to look for answers. And even more when I'm in doubt. Now in Malaysia, in KL, like seriously, I'm trying to get to a forest. It takes me an hour. Okay. Anybody else with insights? Before we go into the exercise, I have time for one more. Okay, great. Let's go into the exercise. Now, I call this exercise, what do I live for? Okay. When you wake up every day in the morning, like, what do you live for? I think there's really a lot of suffering in the world, and when we're so caught up with our concerns of our business or whatever problems we have in our life, we tend to lose context of like the beauty that is in front of us. And my invitation is to focus on that beauty and of life. And there's so many beautiful things in life, but there's definitely a specific thing that you will choose that is different from mine. And you should live for that. Okay? Very different. So I'm gonna start with sharing about Bronnie Ware. Do you guys know about Bronnie Ware, the nurse, top 5 regret of the dying? Okay, some of you guys shake your head. Let me just read it out loud to you. Top 5 regret of dying. I wrote about this in my post, so I'm going to share that again in the group. But let me just read it out loud. The first regret: I wish I have the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Okay, live a life of essentialism. All right. The second one is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. If you live a life of essentialism, you wouldn't work hard. You will put effort, yeah, sure, but on the right place. All right? You wouldn't work so hard until you die. I mean, until you get so exhausted. The third one, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Fourth, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. True friends, right? Last but not least, I wish I had let myself to be happier. The only moment that we are happy is that when we choose something for ourselves and we actually work hard for it and we get what we want. And most of the time, and unconsciously, we tend to work hard for things that it's not even a success that we actually want from ourselves. It could be imprinted from our parents or grandparents or a society's perspective, right? If you guys want to read about this, I'll send it to the group. Point is, to know what you want to live for, to live your life of essentialism, we need to contemplate death. Sorry to be morbid, and it's just because it's Scorpio season and it's the full moon. Doesn't mean that we have to talk about that, but it is what it is. So I really want to actually bring you through a visualization of, of death. And then I'm going to guide you through a few journaling prompts that I'm going to get you started now. And throughout the week, as you integrate this session, I want you to find deeper answers around it. Can we do that? All right. All right, everybody, take a deep breath. Let it go. Every out breath is a death, and every in breath is a new birth moment. All right, take a deep breath again, and let it go. Relaxing your body, allowing your awareness to come home to your body, feeling your energy today in this moment. You learn a bunch of stuff. All the information is probably bubbling in your head. Let it go. Now allow that awareness to really sink down a little bit more as you place your center of your attention on your heart space, on your chest, with your feet completely solidly touching the ground. You can move your feet a little bit to really feel the texture of the ground, to feel grounded and to feel really embodied. Good. Let's take another deep breath and let it go. And as you continue to take your breath, allow 6 seconds inhalation and 6 seconds exhalation. You don't have to specifically count each and every second to make it perfect. In fact, drop all the technique that is there to your breath and trust that your body knows what it means to inhale 6 seconds and exhale 6 seconds. And let's spend a few moments here. And to a point, it feels rhythmical and effortless. As your mind quiets down and as your presence starts to be more vivid and you're able to feel your presence a little deeper, my invitation now for you is to think about something you're grateful for, something that you feel glad about your life, grateful, joyful, blissful. wonderful. And let it be something simple, simple pleasures. And whatever imagery, whatever visualization that comes true, let yourself sit in it, be in it, immerse yourself in the experience. And just take this next couple of moments to enjoy it. And silently in your heart, as you're enjoying the current experience you're in, give thanks, infinite love and gratitude for who you are, to your life, and what has been, and what will be. And in the next few moments, we are going to do what we call a dissolving meditation. We're going to slowly dissolve our body layer by layer. And all that is left in the end of the day is your energy and your presence. So, in this process, if you can keep yourself incredibly still and if your eyes just close throughout this session, the better this meditation will be. So, really adjust your seated position now. Make sure you're extremely comfortable because you're not going to move anymore. And you're not going to open your eyes and you're going to commit yourself to it. And let's make the next few moments for you to make your final adjustments. Inhale and exhale. Whenever you're set, relax, continue to focus on your breath. With now your attention on the outermost layer of your skin. Allow your attention and your awareness to scan through your skin. From the top of your head, all the way down through your face, your neck, chest, your hands and your arms, and all the way down to your lower back, your butt, your thighs, your legs, knees, all the way down to your feet. And really feel this layer of your skin dissolving. In this moment, the boundary starts to get a little thinner. The next thing you'll feel is the fluid of your body. This is your blood. This is your lymph, the water that's within you, the 70% of water that is you. Allow yourself to scan through your body and really feel the fluid that's living inside of you. That you, my friend, is a body of water. And allow yourself to scan that water from the top of your head. Again, the same thing, all the way down to your feet. And in the next very moment, allow this water to dissolve. And as it dissolves, the water is evaporated. Now you're connected to your tissues, the tissues of your body. This includes your organs, your eyes, your muscles, your fascia, the texture of your body, the whole meat of your body. Really feel the presence of it. Really scanning it from the top of your body, from the top of your head, all the way down to the bottom of your feet. And you feel this solid version of yourself dissolving as well. And the tangibility part of your experience of a sense of self starts to fall away even more as you now tune in to your bones, the skeletal structure of your body, and feel the rigid, strong, powerful bones holding on all the weight of your body, aligning your body, and really scan through from the top of your head, the skull, all the little bones as well, in your ears, all the way down to your neck, to your spine, all the way down to your sit bones, your sacrum, and down to your feet. In the very same way, they dissolve, leaving you into an etheric space, pure energy, pure light, pure truth, shining brightly, and really feel and sense that light within you. Now that your body has dissolved, you're just this essence, pure love, pure energy. And allow this energy to expand and amplify. And let it be spacious because you're not confined by your body anymore. You can be as big as this room you're in. Now try not to fall asleep. Let's be present. Fast forward to the time of your death. And as you continue to expand your light energy, you see your body laying down right in front of you. And you also see that a group of people has gathered to celebrate you. This is your death. But your existence, your presence is still very much alive. And you decided to just be there to witness how the ceremony is being done. And you hear the eulogy, the stories of what people are saying and shared about you, your contribution and your legacy that you have offered to the world. You have served with your highest point of contribution. Your greatest gift locked inside of you is now for everybody to see and experience. And everybody shared their favorite memory of you. And as the essence is as the presence of who you are, you get to witness people's celebration of you and how they remember you. And let yourself receive all the beautiful words, all the beautiful love that people are giving you. As you receive the love and the messages, it's time for this light of yours, you, the light, the presence, to come home. to the present moment, to this moment. As you continue to take a deep breath, your bone starts to form layer by layer. Your tissues, your organs, your fascia starts to wrap around, coming home, recreating itself, functioning again. The water system of your body starts to drip in, fill it up. Blood starts pumping, flowing. And then your integument, your skin starts to form again, including your hair. And with your presence coming home fully embodied in your body right now, wiggle your toes, move your hands, shake your body, and allow yourself to be present in this moment. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And now you're back. All right. How's it feels like to die? Do you guys sleep? Wow, I think dying is such a beautiful experience, right? You get to sleep. All right. No, sometimes it's in the afternoon over here, and I get it's hot. Anyhow, um, I want to dive right into the exercise while you guys are fresh with all the inspiration that is there, and whatever comes through, comes through. Whatever didn't come through, didn't come through. If you fall asleep, you might want to come back to this exercise through the recording and try not to sleep the second time. I know my voice is very gentle, and I get it. But that's just what it is. All right, it's an experience. Trust that your subconscious mind got what it needs to get. All right. So there are a couple of questions here. The first questions to like I said, right, in the beginning, we're playing the infinite game. That means we need rules. Your rules, your own rules, right? You have created some ideas of your rules through the personal philosophy, but I want to go deeper today. So the first question I want you guys to ask, you got to first create your own constraints. Your constraints are your non-negotiable values. And your non-negotiable values is, what are you saying no to? All right, what are you saying no to? What is it in your life that you will immediately say no to and why? That's the question. For me, no alcohol. Period. I don't even have to consider. Someone offer me no. Why no? Nothing. Just no. I just don't do it. You know? Because it go against a certain form of value. Another thing that you can also use your death meditation to consider in this question. All right. Let me just walk you through the question so you can do this by yourself. Is that look at your calendar and look at your schedule today. All right. Let's just say you have 3 months left to live. What are the things in your calendar that you just remove it out of your calendar? What will you say no to? Write those things down. Then you figure out what you actually value, what you're actually valuing. You guys get what I mean? Okay. So number one, which is why you saying no to. What is it in your life that you will immediately say no to and why? This is what we call creating your constraints. People think when they hear constraints and limitation means, I'm going to be trapped. No, it actually provides more freedom. Okay. Number two, create your own focus, meaning your highest point of contribution. Use your personal philosophy as a guiding point to answer this question, which is really about what are you saying yes to? This is your extreme criteria. And using your death meditation, what is it that if you don't do in this life while you're still alive, you will regret for the rest of your life? What is that? What would that be? And this should be reflective of your 10-year dream that you have done on your your exact map or the personal philosophy. I think I would regret not creating a school. Even if I try, even if I fail, not achieving it, at least I tried. You guys get what I mean when I say this kind of question, right? So this is your yes, this is your highest point of contribution. This is your focus point. And then you create the constraints, the rules around it. Then you should really understand what you are saying yes and what you're saying no to. And if anything that is not this, they're unimportant, remove them. I mean, it can be important, but that means you have to delegate them and so on and so forth. So you have to think a little deeper. But first, identify the rules. Just this exercise. While you guys are doing this, my suggestion is to just brain dump, just write, free write, just put all of it down, right? And then next week, before we start the new section of the lecture, I'm gonna be able to coach you guys on certain things. Otherwise, also bring it to the risk transformation section of our coaching. I'm also able to help you guys there. Okay. But I'm able to go through some stuff with you guys next week for our next class. So for now, really identify these two questions. These are the rules of your infinite game. What are you focusing on? What are you saying yes to? And then what are the parameters around it? What are the constraints? What are the rules of the game? Understand this well. A lot of your life can be so much more simpler and happier. All right. Thumbs up, everybody. Okay, please share your insights in the group because I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know what you guys are learning and what you guys are absorbing. That's going to help me shape my next my next lecture, at least my next our next training. All right, for those of you having the recording, please do the exercise. Please take your time to digest all these materials. They are kind of dense, right? You guys need to know the backdrop of it before we go into the exercise. The exercise is very simple, and then the application of it is even harder. Okay, and this is where it's going to be a live practice rather than a perfect. All right, it's 3 3 3 on my side. I'll leave you guys off. Take care. I will see you guys next week.